privilege to invite Kimberly Brown to the stage.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Gio, for the introduction. I am Kimberly Brown, and the first half of my career was spent in the institutional investment, servicing institutional investment clients. And so when we say, and I come from, by the way, all the way from Los Angeles, California in the United States. We just arrived yesterday. My business partner, Cherie Franklin, is here. And so this is a great opportunity that actually came about, I consider it kismet. It came about 2 weeks ago. I'm on the Sustainable Finance Advisory with Minja, and the call is ending. And somehow the discussion of the social sustainability comes up in Amsterdam, and I go, wait, well, July, when are we? And so the dates lined up. We are actually here. We are community developers, housing impact partners, City of Los Angeles. We are actually here on a European cultural exchange mission from Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. Amsterdam, we're a four-city tour. Amsterdam was the first route. This was on the date we were scheduled to be here. So we're really excited, and we don't consider that a coincidence. The reason why we're specifically on this cultural exchange is centered around Paris 24, LA 28. Particularly a particular community right outside of Paris called Saint Denis, which played a big role in Paris 28, and in that role of ensuring that equity was embedded in those side of those games. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has that same vision to ensure that equity is embedded. So we are representing what's considered the soul of the city in Los Angeles, a cultural anchor in the city called Leimert Park Village. If you haven't heard of Leimert Park Village, just like many folks in the States hadn't heard of Saint Denis before the Paris 24 games, you will after LA 28. So we're headed to Paris next, then we're headed to Montreux, then we're headed to Milan, and then we'll tie it up with a hotel conference in Miami. But that aside, so that's my journey. That was 2 weeks ago. That's my journey to this stage. By day, we are housing developers. We are affordable housing developers. And I will say we're actually community developers because our work is bigger than simply providing housing in the traditional sense. Our work involves workforce development, civic engagement. We layer on all aspects of what it means to develop from within what we call historically overlooked or historically underestimated communities. And so what that looks like for myself and my business partners is that looks like we all come from an area in Los Angeles, South Los Angeles. We're all rooted, grounded, born in this part of the city. We have seen the years of inequitable practices and the results of what that has done to the city, and particularly as it relates to housing and obviously health equity, because without stable housing, health stability cannot follow. And so there came a point where we all joined forces and we were viewed as people that could make a difference in this regard. And so myself coming out of large brokers with particularly servicing the capital markets. While I was ending my tenure at Cushman and Wakefield, many of my clients were the institutions and the pension funds, large private. We're looking to invest in Los Angeles. We're looking for a group on the ground to invest in. Would you consider? Okay, we'll see what's happening here. Enter several prominent folks in the city of Los Angeles, including my business partner, Cherie Franklin, who's a legacy developer in the city. Our third partner is an investment banker whose family started the first Black bank in the city of Los Angeles. We came together with nonprofit partners to form Housing Impact Partners to be a part of the solution from within the community. The reason why that's important is it's important for folks in these communities that are impacted by years of inequitable practices to see the opportunities that rest within folks from within the communities. We also have, we'll syndicate deals, we'll allow folks from within the communities to participate inside of our deals. So it really makes us very popular, but it also makes us very unique in our strategy. So we'll drive that institutional capital. will drive that private equity into our deal flow. And then, of course, our real estate ties, and the city tends to create a constant constant flow of property to us. But at the end of the day, it's about the people. It's about our mantras, humanity, and housing. At the end of the day, we're looking to preserve affordability for the people in the community. So that's a bit about me. And with that said, I will take my seat. So it's access to capital. I mean, period. And so I will say there's no shortage of capital in the marketplace. It's getting capital into the hands of the folks that represent these historically underestimated communities. And I will tell you, we entertained so many. At one point, I used to call it washing up on the shore. There were so many institutional and private equity investors knocking on our door, and they still are, and we're great. So to the extent that ground up development takes more time to get people off the street, basically, because in Los Angeles, it's preserving affordability. It's creating a space where we call it workforce housing, where your first responders have a place to live, but we are the homeless capital of the nation, and so we've got a lot of people to. So our need is immediate, and so we need capital more immediate than the average developer.
What is it that you want to see? Because you're provoking change with your work.
We are indeed, and thank you for that question. That's a great layup. So I will tell you one thing that I would be remiss in conveying that's a critical part of our strategy that actually differentiates us a lot of times is we've got nonprofit partners. And so I don't know if P3 is universally, so public-private partnerships, is that sort of a universal concept to most? Okay, thank you. So we take it a step further. We implement a P5 strategy. So public-private partnerships, philanthropy, and people. And so whenever I'm asked to speak, I usually emphasize the fifth point, the people point. And so we've got a number of nonprofit partners. I'm going to I'll tell you the names of two, and then you could really understand that these nonprofit partners provide services, support, and stability. One of our nonprofit partners is called the Coalition for Responsible Community Development. The second nonprofit partner is called the People Concern. I mean, those names speak for themselves. And so with those nonprofit partners, again, we're able to provide wraparound services for our developments and for our projects. So we're able to provide, we look at real estate holistically. We don't just look at real estate, as a deal. We're looking, again, we're people centric. And so bringing in those nonprofit partners, we're not just bringing them in for their services, we're bringing them in as co-investment partners. That's new and different for them, because typically they were brought in years gone by under a tax credit structure, which, in the States is a whole different conversation, which my partner would have to take that conversation. We were talking about that because I came in much later in the cycle here. But we're bringing our nonprofit partners in to co-invest alongside with us. So they're coming into the deal with equity. And so, but they're also coming into the deal able to serve specific populations, and two of the populations that we're serving right now, and if we talk about, I'm keeping health equity at the center of my conversation because I go a million miles in a million ways with this, but if we look at a year from now, if we look at 5 years from now, there are 75,000 homeless people on the streets in the city of Los Angeles. And that's Los Angeles proper. Los Angeles proper is on a grid. It's not as big as the sprawl. Many of those are two populations: transition age youth, which are youth that are the ages of 18 to 25, 18 to 25, which are kids that are the most vulnerable. That's your next generation of homeless. Those kids are the most vulnerable because they've come out of foster care system. The door's been shut. Bye-bye. Here's your stuff. Go. We're specifically serving that population. We're also serving military veterans. If we can make a dent in those two populations alone, those 75,000 folks on the street could a year from now, 5 years from now, could be in stabilized housing situations, which again, it's obvious, like all aspects of health equity improve once housing is provided. Then you tap on the additional wraparound services. Now you've got communities. Now you have people, you've got fewer ER visits. You've got folks that are just healthier in general, and you've got communities that are healthier in general. Keep people first. Again, our mantra is humanity in housing. If you focus on the people, and again, we've got a lot of stakeholders and a lot of players in the mix just because we're in the city of Los Angeles and there's a lot going on in the city of Los Angeles right now, but everything from the immigration issues, everything to the homeless issues, the Olympics, it's a lot happening in the next couple of years, but it all centers around people. And so if we keep our strategy as people first and people centric and just always use that as the North Star, then we're going to make the difference that we're looking to make in the world. We're confident of that.